So I think the next one is it Star next?
Yeah.
Star. All right. So Star,
So there's been a lot of press over what happened at your last concert, and fortunately, because of the way that you handled it, you were, put in the papers as being the better man, the better person, and turned what would have turned into an outright like disastrous situation into something that was a lot more positive, and so you definitely got some mad kudos for that. And we're gonna say that you are on your way home, and as you are unlocking your door, I suppose. Now, do you live in an apartment? Do you live in a house? Do you what do you live in? Just out of curiosity.
Okay. Well, Star lives in a penthouse apartment.
Okay.
So imagine a either New York or Chicago skyline. So he's on the highest floor. There's glass walls, glass windows from floor to ceiling everywhere. Very open air, and there's a beautiful balcony that you can walk out to that's pretty spacious, where you can actually have a day bed or a jacuzzi out there, and it overlooks the city. So no one can see him, but he can see everyone else.
All right. So you're unlocking the penthouse, and you can hear strange noises coming from inside your apartment. You can hear voices from inside, and you're not expecting any guests or anything, so that might strike you as a little strange.
Okay, well, as Star is unlocking the door, when he'll hear the noises, he'll be like, odd, and then he'll split apart, and Amethyst will be like, right, so it sounds like there's voices. Are we expecting anyone? Topaz will answer and be like, I don't think so. Is there anyone on the calendar? And then he'll be like, Rhyolite, and Rhyolite be like, he'll be looking at a little watch and be like, I don't remember seeing anything, nothing for today. Then Sapphire, the more chill one, will be like, just open the door and let's see what's in there. It could be, Stormy could be needing some help, or the housekeeper. Just open the door, dude. And then Amethyst will be like, if we get kidnapped again, this is on you. This is your fault. So they'll snap back together, and Star will fluff up his hair and say, please God, no kidnapping, no kidnapping. As he unlocks the door and he opens it. And he
You unlock the door, you open it, everything is pitch black for a moment, and then a few seconds later, all the lights turn on and you hear everyone yell out, surprise! And so there's a big banner that says happy 23rd birthday, and this is like a day early, so they were trying to legitimately surprise you by celebrating a day early, a happy 23rd birthday. And you can see several of your friends there. It's not a huge gathering, but you do see, for example, Lady Matilda, Shepherd.
Yay!
Of course, you will see Stormy Rain. And so there's Stormy. And Stormy is holding a big, giant, beautiful cake.
I'm so here for it.
And randomly, you also see Miney and his girlfriend there too.
Love it. What is her name? What is the girlfriend's name? I must know this.
Miney, what is your girlfriend's name? Kabista?
Oh my God, I love it.
Oh,
Or Lakista?
she's an elf, so Vista would be fine.
Lakista. Okay, Lakista is her name.
Lakista, Kabista, whatever you want, my dude. You're good.
Banana Fana Bokista. Okay. Lakista Bakista, Banana Fana Bokista the third. Sure, whatever.
Oh my God. So when Star sees this, he's gonna be like, what in the world? My birthday's not until tomorrow, but the cake, Stormy, oh my God. He was about to say, dude, I love you, but he said, dude. And he sees the other two there, so he redacts that statement and goes, I love that cake. It looks good. And then when he sees Lady Matilda, he's gonna run to her and drop to his knees and wrap her into a huge hug. He'll be like, oh my goodness. He said, by the goddess, you're here. How are you?
She wraps her arms around you and she says, of course, I'm here. Of course, I couldn't miss your big day, can't I?
No, oh my goodness, are you well? And he like takes her braid and he's like playing with it like he used to when he was a kid. And he was like, so how are you been? How was your travels? Like he's like playing with the tip of her ponytail.
She says, my travels was very good. She says, the food could have been better, but what else is new, I suppose? No, I arrived here early this morning and by a star, you seem to have so many new friends.
I do.
I was speaking to Shepard just to catch up for a bit, and he's saying that you've been quite popular, especially given your new career.
Oh, yes. Oh, my goodness. Lady Matilda, there is so much I need to tell you, and there's so much we need to talk about. He'll give her a forehead kiss, and he'll be like, Shaq, my dude! And so he'll do like the bro hug thing.
Hey, man. Dude. So he goes over and he gives you like a bro hug, basically.
Oh, yeah, he'd be like, dude, I'm so happy that you're here. Thank you for coming. Wait, how did you even get here? Did you cross paths? Like, how did this even happen?
Oh man, and he just starts flexing like randomly. I was just over there, and he's kind of. He's the kind of character who just can't help but flex no matter what he's doing. He's just always flexing and like showing off his body.
Right? I love it.
Love it. I'm in love.
What was the question again? He asked.
Like, how did you guys coordinate this? Like, and then he looks at Stormy. He's like, how did you pull this off? And he was about to say we've been everywhere, but he's like, we've been so busy with the schedule. So how did this happen?
He said, your manager, he contacted some of us, knew that, your big day was coming and thought it'd be cool to surprise you probably the day before just so that you wouldn't suspect nothing. And yeah, I guess as far as how did you do it, I guess, he's just one of those sneaky people. Almost like a private eye, You know how sneaky they can be.
Right? And he'll give Stormy a smoldering look like, I'll thank you for this later. And then he'll turn towards the miner and what was it?
Miney. And Lakista.
He'll be like, you two! It's so good to see you! Because he won't remember their names.
Right, exactly.
He'll reach down and he'll hug them both. He'll be like, it's so good to see you here. So, and he'll like look at Stormy again. And he was like, how did you get an invitation, friends?
Lakista said, well, your manager wanted to apologize for all of the shenanigans that was happening at your last concert, and since we were the lucky ones that you brought up on the stage, he thought that it would have been a great way to, to give us a better experience now.
And he'll be like, oh, that is awesome. He'll pull her to a hug, but he'll look at Stormy like, the fuck? And he'll be like, well, I'm, and he'll be like...
Stormy kind of mouths like, publicity. It's for publicity. Good for the publicity.
And he'll like, and no one else will see this, but Star's eyes will go rainbow, meaning they're all paying attention, and he'll be like, words. And then his eyes will go back to their golden color, and he'll pull back, and he'll be like, well, I'm happy you're here, and again, I'm so sorry. He said, broken oath, they have a tendency of doing that. That kind of happens a lot in my life. Sometimes I need to reevaluate my life choices, but you know what? You're here, and that's what's important.
Yes, we're both so excited, especially Miney. Isn't that right, Miney? Honey?
I heard there'd be cake.
Yes. No donuts, right? No donuts. Man, those donuts, I'm telling you, they were stale AF. Isn't that right, Miney?
Yeah, they were awful. They were so bad. The worst donuts I've ever tasted deliciously.
Right? And then when Star will do that, he'll just be like, thank you for your honesty. Because you remember, Sapphire was eating donuts too, so he knows they were bomb. But then he walks over to Stormy, because really, that would have been his first go-to, but because there are people present, he walks over to Stormy and he'll like, he's about to slip and say babe, but he says, Stormy, what kind of cake we got here? It's awfully pretty. And he's like basically about to face plant into it, but he's like keeping himself still so he doesn't do it.
Out of character, what is Star's favorite cake? What's his favorite?
Ooh, well, let's see. There's chocolate chip, red velvet, well, that's not even a cake. Carrot. Then there's and then there's straight up chocolate and white. So
okay, 5. So it's a 5-layered cake, and so he's gonna say it's 5 layers of every single one of your favorite cakes.
And Star's eyes, his eyes will glow, and he'll like, oh my god, and he'll lean in close, like I don't know. Star's not stealthy at all, but he'll lean in close, and you'll hear all the voices say in a very melodic tone, "We love you for this, and we will talk later." And then they'll go back, and he said, "So since there's so much cake here, why don't we dive in? Since we all said happy birthday and whatnot." Star will literally take that cake out of his hands and start beelining toward the shelf.
So Matilda says, "Oh wait, we have to sing. We still have to sing," she says, and she pulls out her harp. So it's like, it's not a giant thing, but it's like a travel size, I guess, harp.
Yeah.
And she starts to play this very melodical, but still upbeat, upbeat harp version of Happy Birthday. And so everybody will start to sing. So everybody in this group has to sing at some point. So why don't we start by singing Happy Birthday to Star?
Ooh.
1, 2, 3.
Happy
Happy birthday to you.
Happy
birthday
to you. Happy birthday, Happy birthday to you.
Yeah, it's hilarious. The slag is hilarious.
The lag is great.
It's killing our harmony. Like,
Oh my god! This is giving me so much life.
Can we just for funsies? Can we just say that in real life it actually sounded like that? Like it sounded that bad in real life.
like a mess.
Funny thing is, it was in sync for me.
Oh, lucky.
And I just want to know, like, while this kind of a train wreck of a happy birthday song was going on, as you know, Matilda's desperately trying to like stay with everybody, but it's not gonna happen. How does Miney react to this? I just want to know how the dwarf reacts to this song.
He's paying about 2% attention to the song. He's mostly just staring at the cake.
Nice. Okay.
His eyes are getting wider and wider. They start to dry out. He's gonna need some moisturize later.
Moisturize. Yes. Moisturize.
Oh my gosh.
Shepard will say, "Dude, make a wish, bro."
And he'll Star will be like, and like when the whole thing, even though it was absolutely awful, his eyes will be brimming with tears, and he'd be like, "You guys are amazing," and his wings are twitching with excitement. He said, "I love you all so much," and he was like, "Shepard, you're right. It's time for cake." And he like literally levitates and flies backwards towards the cake because he's like so excited. And then he's like, "A wish, a wish." Now, no one else can hear this, but in Star's head, you hear Ruby like, "Oh," he said, "wish for our marriage to be finally made public." Then you'll hear Amethyst, no, wish for, he said, "wish for world peace. That's what we all want, right?" And then you hear Sapphire say, "Bros, what the fuck? Just make a wish, get the cake. Come on now." Then you'll hear Rhyolite will be his fear. He said, "Let's just hope our next performance and this next tour goes amazingly." And then Topaz, his confidence, yes, wish for all that stuff. But you know what we need to wish for right now? For this party to be over and some lone sexy time with our man. And then they'll all in unison say, "Amen." And so Star will go ahead and blow out the candles. So he'll make his wish and blow out the candles. And then he'll be like, "Oh, all right, guys, soup's on." So I don't know, like somehow he gets a big ass knife out of nowhere. And he starts getting ready to cut the cake. So as he's cutting cake and he's like grabbing plates, he almost slips and gets ready to split so he can grab the plates, but you know, the two are there, so they're not supposed to know about his magic. So he ends up saying, "Oh, Stormy, can you give me a hand with the cake serving?" So he'll like indicate with his eyes, like, I can't really do it all by myself. So
yeah,
so
he'll go over.
So once they start, having cake or whatever, he'll like, again, just like small talk, just like saying, thank you for coming. He appreciates them. But then what he wants to do, he wants to get Lady Matilda to kind of sit with him for a second while he eats cake. Out of character, Lady Matilda is Star's parental figure. So he'll sit with her while he's eating some cake and saying, "So, how's everything back at Bloomingdale's? How's everything? Are you guys receiving the benefit payments I've been sending you guys? Or charity?"
Yes, she says, "Thank you so much, Star dear, for that. Everything's going very well. I don't really have much to complain, so our success is really thanks to you. And I'm so proud, so very proud of both you and Shepard."
Oh yeah. I just thank you. And he's eating cake and he's just happy to have her there because he hasn't seen her in a while. So he's just like absorbing everything she's saying. And so he'll say like, "So how are the new kids there? Are the new students doing well? And I see you're still keeping up your harp." And he'll wink at her.
She will chuckle a bit and says, "The students are wonderful. We got so many bright ones every single day, and I just am always very impressed by the things that they're able to accomplish. And many of them have mentioned you as well. Those who still remember you from back then, they would talk about you, and so many of the children see you as their idol. You inspire so many of them."
Oh, and so Sar's hearing this, and it's making him feel good because he wants to be a positive, not necessarily an idol, because idols and or public figures, we can all fall short, but he wants to be a positive influence. So for him, that's like yes. And then he'll like, while his mouth is completely full of cake, he'll like, "Shep, get your ass over here. I need to talk to you." So he's like swallowing the next bite, waiting for Shep to come over.
Shep arches his back, he like cracks his neck, and then he goes over and he plumps down, and he kind of just puts his elbow on your shoulder, and he goes, "So, Star, you enjoying the party?"
He said, "Oh yeah, man. Now that you guys are here, it's a real party. I haven't had a real party like this in a while." He said, "You go to all those big light parties and jazz festivals and serenity parties or whatever, and it's not the same, when you don't really know anybody and you think everybody's there, they just want a favor, so you're just greasing palms, but it's nice to have real people and to spend that time with. But other than that, what have you been up to? It looks like you got a few new tattoos, and dude, did you pierce your nipples?"
"Oh, thanks for noticing," he says. "Yeah, man, I mean, I've just been, I don't know, same as before. I'm still working out. I'm still, cruising around, I'm still trying to find a full-time job. So if you know of someone who could, he's like flexes a little bit, could use some of my talents, send them my way."
Star will thoughtfully tap his fork against his lip, like just pat against his lip and say, "Hey, Stormy, don't we need some extra security? Remember what happened last time? The whole incident with me tied up in rope, unsexy style?" And you're like, arch an eyebrow at him.
That's a good point. Shepard, is that right? Yeah. Stormy Rain. "Pleased to meet you, Mr. Rain," Shepard says. "Yeah, we could talk later about possibly finding a new opportunity for you and the music industry." Wow, music industry. Wow, I would love a chance to work with you, Star. It would be like old times.
He said, you be the judge. So we'll work that out. And he said, and now let me just address my other two guests, and we'll talk more later. So he'll get up, he'll have small talk with Miney and Ballista, since he now knows she's one of his Ballista,
Yes,
Callista,
Lakista, whatever. Lakista,
that
Ballista,
one,
whatever.
that girl, the elf.
Yes, the elf, yes.
Since he knows she's like his #1 fan, what he'll do, he'll say, you know, I really appreciate you guys being here, and I was thanking you guys so much for being such great sports, for allowing me to pull you guys up on stage. What I'm going to do for you is an exclusive, never before seen photo album that I got, and I'm going to give it specifically to you, autographed by yours truly. So he'll hand Stormy the plate, he'll grab the book, and he'll sign it, like, you know, with those fancy pens that are like all shiny.
Yes.
He'll sign his name on it, and he'll say, my gift to you. Thank you for being an awesome fan.
Oh, she faints. She just faints right there into Miney's arms. And she's just out. The girl's out.
Go for it.
Miney's kind of looking. He's still looking for specks of cake. How much of Star's cake did he eat? Like like did you go through the whole slice, the whole layer?
Yeah, like it's like chunks are missing. You know, people got their portion. So what he'll do, he'll be like, you know, since your girl seems to be indisposed at the moment and your arms are full, I'll make sure that Stormy gets you a few nice big chunks of cake if you guys go ahead and go on home, so you can, you know, go rest.
I think I might have misjudged you. I like a man with an appetite. You have your cake and eat it too.
Star will beam off of that.
So the party continues in full force, and you know, eventually things start to wrap up and die down, and you know, the guests are leaving, and Matilda and Shepard will, of course, you know, give you warm hugs as they say goodbye. Matilda will let you know that she's still hanging out for the rest of the week or so. So if you want to go visit her, maybe you could do coffee at some point. So she's just letting you know that.
Yes.
And eventually, like, the only people who are left is going to be you and Stormy. And Stormy is just going to help, like, clean up the penthouse apartment. And while they're cleaning up, Stormy will says, you know, during the party, I didn't give you your present yet, so it's right over there, he says, as he nudges over to a box, a really nicely decorated box.
And Star will be like, okay, Star will be like, oh, so are you gift number 2 then, or dessert? As he like flutters over towards that box because he's excited about the gift. And he'll be like, oh my goodness, Stormy, what's in here? And like, he picks it up, and instead of opening like a normal person, he starts to violently shake it to see what's in there. And he'll be like,
as you're shaking it, you actually hear from inside the box a voice go, whoa, 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 whoa.
oh, he's like, Stormy? Did you get me a pet? Now, mind you, once he realized he hears a voice, just imagine like a kid on Christmas just ripping that wrapping paper off with total excitement, and all five are out. Then they're ripping open the box, and you hear their voice like, oh, what's inside? What's in it? You hear the voice? Oh my goodness. And it's like they're all super excited, and he lifts the lid off.
You lift the lid off, and it's this floating spherical robot-y looking thing. I almost want to say it looks like the droids in Mass Effect with arms, almost. It almost looks like that. And
Okay.
a voice comes out from this droid or robot thing and will say, hello, Mr. Star, sir. I am at your service.
And we're like, oh my God, Stormy, did you give me one of those assistant bot thingies? And he's like, oh, she's so cute. And he was like, he's pointing at, like punching it. And he's like, wait. And he was like, oh, and he's like floating around her. Like, he's like all excited because he ended up going back together. And he's like, what is your name, wondrous one?
I haven't been given one. What would you like to name me? And I will add it to my register.
Oh my goodness. He'll be like, oh. And he'll float back towards Stormy. He'll give him a kiss on the cheek and said, oh, I'm so doing so many things to you later. And he'll float back to the orb, and he'll be like, what do I call you? As he's like floating around her. And he'll be like, you're so green, so full of life. Synergy. No, Didn't someone else call their robot Synergy? No. We will be original. We will create a new name. A name that means power. Energy. That's what I'll call you. Energy.
Energy.
How do you like it?
I like it. Untapped ultimate power! You can see her scream as the sphere kind of starts to grow larger and larger. And then she shrinks back down and says, "Oh, excuse me," she says.
He'll be like, "Oh, we are going to be the best of friends." And he'll grab her by the hands and be like, "You're going to be my new assistant. You're going to go with me everywhere. And I'm going to program into you the beauty of fashion. Stormy, grab me a magazine. This baby must learn all about the fashion."
So he will do that and then commence like 80s montage as you know, you go through all of the different forms of fashion and everything, diagrams and pictures and magazine articles. And as we close, Stormy is just going to, you know, you and Stormy will be alone together. You know, maybe you all have changed to be more comfortable, have gotten to be a little bit more comfortable. So he's in some very nice silky boxers of sorts. And you both are just kind of, I think you're just kind of cuddling a little bit. And he's going to ask, "So did you have a wonderful birthday, love?"
So as they're cuddling, so Star's head will be on Stormy's chest. So he's like listening to Stormy's heartbeat. And he's like playing with the fine hair on Stormy's chest. And he'll say, "Yes, I had a wonderful birthday. I can't believe you surprised me like this. I was not expecting anything like this. And you do realize my actual birthday is in a few hours. And how did you get Lady Matilda and Shepherd? And how did you make that happen?"
I can't give away all my secrets. Let's just say that I pulled a few strings. I have a few connections, and one thing ended up leading to another that eventually resulted in, well, the surprise.
He'll smile. He'll give Stormy like a really, not like a passionate kiss, like just a kiss of like saying, "I thank you so much." But it's just with the kiss. And he'll say, "Oh, Energy, come here, my friend."
Energy will come over. Mm-hmm.
And he'll say, "Energy, schedule an appointment with me and Lady Matilda for 3:00 tomorrow. Make sure she gets the message so she's aware. And let's go by our favorite coffee house, the Starbeam. Let's make sure that we set an appointment for that at 3. So and make sure that she's aware. And if she needs a ride, schedule something for her, okay?"
Sounds perfect, Mr. Star. Right away, Mr. Star.
Thank you. And Stormy, he'll say, "You sit still. Energy, be sure to hold all my calls, make sure no one disturbs us, and please vacate the premises."
She will go ahead and leave you both alone. And before anything else commences, I'm going to say that Stormy's just gonna like lay back. He put his hands behind his head, his muscly chest, you know, rippling with his abtastic abs.
Right.
And then he says, "Life just couldn't be better, wouldn't you say? Between you and I, we make a real star storm," he says.
I agree. I absolutely agree.
What do you do when your life is storming? Where do you run when the rain is pouring? What do you say when your heart's not soaring high as it should be? How do we carry our baggage history? Why do you think life is such a mystery? But through it all I can tell you there is one thing I do know. You and me, babe, the two of us are magic. When we're together ain't nothing tragic. Light up the sky, cause tonight we're gonna put on a real hot show.
I'll be here, I am yours. Please hold me in arms so warm. We'll be shooting through the sky, our own spectacle. Star storm.
What do you do when your life is storming?
Where do you run when the rain is pouring?
What do you say when your heart's not soaring high as it should be? You and me, babe, the two of us are magic. When we're together, ain't nothing tragic. Light up the sky, 'cause tonight we're gonna put on a real hot. How do we carry our baggage history? Why do you think life is such a mystery? But through it all, I can tell you there is one thing I do know. You and me, babe, the two of us are magic. When we're together, ain't nothing tragic. Light up the sky, 'cause tonight we're gonna put on a real hot storm. I'll be here, I am yours. Please hold me in arms so warm. We'll be shooting through the sky, our own spectacle, star storm.
Okay, that can clap. Okay.
And scene. Okay.
I love that so much. That was so much fun.
Black powder. All right. Black powder. So we're gonna jump through time a little bit more forward through time. So at this point, Black powder, you are now have joined Jim Rorkin's crew, and so do you want to explain like what the situation is right now with? Go ahead.
So, with a little bit of back context, the map from the previous scene that was mentioned, the reason Black Powder didn't get it was because Jim's father had sent it to Jim before the pirates attacked. So Jim has the map. After Black Powder found that out, he learned that Jim, as well as some of Jim's friends, had basically funded an expedition to the atoll, and he and his crew are now posing as just regular sailors who are looking for work and got hired onto the ship. Because Black Powder can talk his way onto anything at this point. And so he's currently posing not as a captain, but as the ship's cook. Whereas the rest of his crew are other forms of ship hands.
Do they call you Black Powder still?
Yeah, it's like
Is that what
it's
they
like
still call you?
just a sailor nickname. I was gonna say, other than like the captain of the ship and maybe the doctor, I gave a name, but I think I forgot to mention it. They call him Mr. Lee because his name is Reginald Lee.
You are in the kitchen, preparing, I suppose, supper for the crew, and you'll hear a tap on the door as a voice, semi-crackly voice, but not super crackly voice, calls out, Mr. Lee, sir?
Jim lad, what can I do for you?
Jim comes in. He's about, how old would you say he is, roughly?
He's somewhere between 14 and 16. I don't think Lee actually knows, but...
Somewhere around those lines. Sure. Okay, somewhere in there. And he comes in and he says, "What are you making for supper there, Mr. Lee?"
Well, I mean, only so much you can actually do on a ship, but figured the crew would do it a good fish stew with a little bit of a seaweed broth, get everybody nice and warm for tonight. It looks like it's going to be cold.
He kind of looks at it, and why don't you go ahead and roll a cooking roll? Just I want to see how appetizing it seems to be right now.
Question is, what would that be? I don't actually have that skill.
I would think... Oh, so I guess you didn't add that to your character sheet,
No.
that you have some professional...
Okay, so you're just kind of, meh. This is probably great.
It's one of those things, it's like, he's probably cooked before, but there's no such thing as a good ship's cook, because it's all just carbs.
You could still roll and try. I think it defaults to like IQ -5 or something like that. So it's
IQ
just harder
-5?
to do. Yeah. So you can try.
I'll give it a shot, might as well. Hey, I rolled pretty good!
9? Oh, okay.
It's
Well, it's -5,
Which
so
makes
it's
it 14.
9. Which still makes it...
Yeah.
So you still succeeded. So, I think Jim's gonna look over into the pot and he's give it a smell and say, smells pretty good, he says.
You're not used to being out on the sea, lad. Any food's good.
How long have you been in the sea?
I've been sailing since I was a bit younger than you.
He sort of looks around and looks at you chopping vegetables, and he kind of says, "Is there anything? Can I help with anything?"
Sure, why don't you start gathering the dishes so we can start serving this up to the crew with you, say, and then could use a hand with the dishes.
He'll nod and he'll go over and start, taking care of the dishes. And while he's doing that, he's gonna say, "Mr. Lee, I wanted to ask you some things. I've been hearing a lot of the crew saying that there's some things that you shouldn't do while we're out at sea. Like all these superstitions. Can you explain the bananas one to me?" He says.
I admit I don't exactly know where it all started, but from certain experiences, bringing those things on board is a death sentence for the ship. Feel bad for those poor sods who have to ship them across the ocean from other countries, because I can't tell you how many friends I've lost with them getting those kind of jobs.
I wonder why bananas in particular. They're one of my favorites.
Oh, they're absolutely delicious. Maybe it's because they grow on trees instead of anywhere near the sea. Something like.
Don't all fruits grow on trees?
Not necessarily. Some fruits grow on vines.
Oh, I guess that's a good point. So the ones on vines are okay on the ship?
Well, as far as I know, most fruit's okay. The only one I've ever really known to be a curse is bananas. It's a very good question about where they came from, though, but it's been an old story ever since I was a kid.
So you've never had a banana in your ship, so you wouldn't be able to know if it was true or not.
All I know are stories my friends told me. Someone brought in a banana and half the crew was lost in a storm.
How about the one where some of the crewmen were saying that it's actually bad luck to have women on ships?
That is true.
But for some reason, naked women are the exception to the rule?
Not even that. So you see, the reason why women are bad luck on ships is because you got to respect the sea. A woman on board is distracting to the crew. However, the sea does appreciate a fine form, so that is why there's a woman at the head of the ship to show the sea.
That makes sense. And that's why they're always naked.
Exactly.
Huh, he says, and he starts, continuing to get the plates in order. And then he pauses for a moment and he says, "Mr. Lee, so I have another question. So I kind of heard something that I don't know if I was supposed to hear it, and I kind of wanted to ask you about it."
Aye. What would that be?
I heard rumors that you were at some point captured, taken prisoner by a pirate, and that you escaped from. That must have been terrible if it was true. Did that actually happen to you? Were you actually captured by a pirate?
Yes, I was. A few times, actually, in my days. I'm not exactly a young man. I've experienced a lot.
Wow, did they really like your cooking then? He says, laughing.
Not exactly. The thing with pirates that so few seem to misunderstand is they're still people. They make mistakes as well, and as long as you keep your head calm and think your way through, you can get out of their hands. Panic is your greatest weakness out here on sea.
Do you have a story as to how you escaped?
But in the particular case I suspect you overheard, it was a little while ago. I was on just another trip. I think we were shipping silks or something like that. But this pirate came and captured the crew, looking for information about something or other. I'm not entirely sure what he was ratting on about. Not the brightest man, if you'd ask me. But I noticed he was teaching his crew awful poor, and I mean, pirates are pirates and whatnot, but even they have their own code of honor usually, and you even see someone as a pirate not willing to get their own hands dirty rub me the wrong way. And I mean, the crew themselves were pretty skilled, and I just convinced them that they could do better without him, basically. and they agreed.
So they actually they call it mutiny? They actually. So what happened next?
Well, during all that kerfuffle, while they were working on fighting the captain, whoever was still loyal to him, me and me crew managed to get loose and found our way back to our old ship at the time and cut ourselves loose as they basically ransacked each other. As far as I know, after we left, the Navy came in and shot the ship down.
Wow, that's an incredible story, Mr. Lee. I sounds like you're full of stories, he says.
I'm an old man, Jim. Lots of old mans have a lot of old stories.
Do you got any advice, I guess, for someone like me who's still learning the ropes, so to speak, with being out in the sea?
Learn who knows their way and follow them. Ask them for help, ask them to teach you a few things. And always keep your head. Don't panic. Everyone here is trained and experienced to do what they do. Trust in your crew, and they'll get you through anything.
Thanks for the advice, Mr. Lee. And as he's finishing up, with the plates, he then says, "One more question, Mr. Lee."
You're full of questions today, Jim.
Well, as my mom always says, questions is how you exercise your head. And it's easy to exercise your body, picking things up, carrying things around, but exercising your head, that takes a little bit more time. So, you never had kids, did you, Mr. Lee?
I did once.
Once? What does that mean, once?
I found a lass who was more beautiful than a sunrise on the sea. And I'm sure you've seen what happens to the poor who can't feed themselves. My wife died. My baby followed her.
I'm so sorry, Mr. Lee. I didn't know. If I had, I wouldn't have even asked.
It's alright, Jim. It was a long time ago, and, well, that's the way the world is sometimes. Can't always control it. We do our best, but, wealth tends to stay where it is in this world, and unless people start changing that, those who are hungry will remain hungry.
The reason I asked is because, well, I don't know if you know, but I joined the crew because I wanted to make my father proud. He was a war hero, general of the Navy. And, I don't know, I thought maybe if I followed him in his footsteps, it would make me feel closer to him. I guess the reason I asked this is because if you were him, if I was your kid, do you think that would be true? Do you think I would make him proud?
I think if they were your father, as long as you followed who you are, he'd be proud. Any real father wouldn't want them to follow in their footsteps so closely that they forget to be who they are. So focus on who you are, Jim. And I think you'll make a lot of people proud.
Thanks, Mr. Lee. I appreciate it.
Of course, lad. Now, stop your jawing and let's get back to work. There's a lot to be done.
He's going to start bringing the plates up, because it's almost time for supper. And as he's going up the stairs, another individual is coming down the stairs. Gregor Zemnian. So, let me know if this...
Hello.
I was gonna say I knew it, Alex. As soon as I saw Victor, I knew it.
Oh my.
Yeah. Gregor Zemnian is. Let me know if this contradicts anything. Would it be okay if Gregor Zemnian was actually used to be Redcap's crew, but he was one of the first people who went over, or would that mess
Perfectly
things
happy
up?
with that.
Okay. So Gregor used to be part of Redcap's crew, but he was one of the first people who, converted over and decided to join your crew. And you and him have gotten relatively a good rapport. So obviously he knows who you really are, but he's very careful about not revealing that to anyone. And so he's passing by, and he'll say, hello, Mr. Zemnian. Hello, Jim. Good to see you. I was just talking with Mr. Lee and helping him out with supper. It's all right, boy. Just hustle up. It's almost ready for the crew to dine. Yes, Mr. Zemnian. And he's gonna go up. Good lad, he says as he's approaching you, Black Powder.
Hi. Shows promise.
I couldn't help but overhear your conversation. My apologies. I didn't mean to eavesdrop, but I was waiting patiently for you to finish.
Aye.
His voice gets a little bit low, but he says, "It's not really my place to say, but do you think you're getting a little too close to the lad?"
Better to get close. So trust me. The lad's a tool. When the time comes, we'll capture him first. The others are weak enough that they'll surrender instantly if we have a kid in our hands.
Makes perfect sense. And the map?
We suspect the captain's still holding tight to it, but they'll lead us right to where we want to go anyways. We don't move until we get to the island.
So we don't actually know for sure where they are keeping the map then.
Not for sure, but logic would assume in the captain's quarters or on their person.
What's the plan, I suppose, once we land to the island?
Well, once we land, we'll continue to observe, see what they know. Let them lead us to where we want to go, and once we have it, standard procedure. Leave them on the island while we go away. Why put in the extra work if they'll do it for us? Besides, we outnumber them significantly.
Sounds like a brilliant plan.
Is that right?
You can count on me. He doesn't say captain, but you know that it's inferred. I'll go continue keeping an eye on the lad and everyone else.
Keep an eye and make sure none of the boys are flapping their gums too much.
Yes, I think I overheard that somebody must have let something slip in front of him. That boy, he tends to get into a lot of places I'm not sure he should be. He's a curious sort. Always seems to be asking lots of questions.
So tell him what he wants to hear.
Admit I'm not very good when it comes to children. I don't really know what actually they want to hear.
We're on a ship. If he gets too much underfoot, just tell him to bugger off. He has work to be done. Don't you worry, lad.
They like candy, don't they? That's a thing that kids like.
I don't know, I've never had it.
I have never had it either. I just heard that that's something that they like.
Perhaps. I think the boy's looking for, I think he's looking for guidance, looking for someone to relate to and to feel sorry for him and to guide him through his useful years. If he chooses that to be me, well, he'll certainly learn something.
Just saying, I mean, you're the cook of this ship. I would think if anyone here would have had candy, it'd be you, the cook.
Candy's for the rich.
Maybe once we reach this island, we'll be within that rich category, you know. Actually, if I may, can we make a bit of a deal? If I help you acquire what we need from the island, you will buy me my first piece of candy.
Now, here's the thing, lad. I don't know if you're actually asking for a sugary treat.
Oh, there's sugar involved?
Aye.
Oh, I hate sweet things. Nobody told me there was sugar involved in candy.
Well,
I thought it would be chewing. You'd be chewing something like tobacco.
from what I understand, it's something sugary. But if that ain't your thing, I can always help pay for you to crack Jenny's teacup.
kids are into that, right? Chewing tobacco, kids are into that, right?
I don't know. I started when I was young, so I think so. For reference, if you guys don't know, Crack Jenny's teacup basically means a prostitute.
Yeah. Okay.
But I'm like, Gregor, what are you doing, Gregor?
Right.
There we go.
I'm loving Black Panther. He's giving me life. Okay. Shut up.
Because that's actually happened to me. It's the whole like chewing. So my stepdad, just a side note, my stepdad gave like a little those little baggies to like a kid. There's like, can I have some? They didn't know what it was. He's like, just to mess with them. That little kid,
It's just a caramel.
the little kid bit into the little baggie. He's like, ooh.
Yeah. No, I've tried chewing tobacco. It burns.
Gregor will grab the stew pot, I guess, and he will help haul it up, because he's manual labor. He's good at those things. Maybe not so much with children or sweet things, but he can do manual labor. So anyway.
After Gregor carries up the pot, Silver, Jesus Christ, I've been watching Treasure Planet again. Black Powder just kind of rubs his leg where it attaches to the peg for a bit, gives a little smile and thinks over a few things before following up.
Okay. Last but not least, final scene. We come to Tori.
And on a dark note.
Tori, just to make sure that we're consistent with your backstory, you are on your way to take Carmen to the manor.
Mm-hmm.
And so while you're on their way there, so Carmen probably doesn't know exactly yet where you're taking her, because I think you're keeping it a surprise for now. And then she starts just kind of jabbering on and says, so she's like twirling her hair. So Tracy says that Tiffany heard that Magenta said that she thinks that Tani is trying to ask out Billy if they would go steady together.
Oh, really?
Yeah, really. Can you believe it? I mean, Billy and what did I say again? Tani? Whichever. Billy with anyone. Seriously, like, ew. I can't even.
Are you saying? I thought you liked Billy.
No, that was Bobby.
I get them all mixed up. They all sound the same.
At least I think it was Bobby. She says.
You don't remember his name?
No, I remember his name. Some days I wake up and I'm like all about Bobby, and other days I might be a little bit more about Billy. Today is a ew Billy day. It happens.
Every day is an ew Billy day for me. And an ew Bobby day.
We're teenage girls, Tori. It happens. So, anyways, where are we going?
It's a surprise.
Oh, Tori, you know I hate surprises.
Since when? You've always liked surprises.
Oh, the surprises that you tend to give me always tend to make me wet my pants.
Well, I don't know what to say about that. I try to get you interested in things I like jump scares, but it just seems to freak you out.
Okay. No, this is all fine and good. No, I'm willing to broaden my horizons, sis. I'll tell you what. After today, what about I take you to one of my things? We can go to the salon and get our nails done.
I'd rather die.
Oh, come on, Tori. What's wrong with trying something new? What's wrong with broadening horizons too?
I like what I like, and I don't like to leave that comfort zone.
We can paint your fingers, we can paint your nails black. We can give them little, faces like your dolls.
Okay, I'm listening.
Yeah, she said we can. They totally have this entire line of goth fashion when it comes to like nails and manicures and pedicures. So we can totally go with that. Oh, that wasn't offensive or anything for me to use the G word, was it?
No, why would it be?
I don't know. Some people might be really touchy about labels. You know how it is. I'm just trying to be, a little more. What's the word? Woke about these things?
Well, I don't fit into any particular label or anything. I'm different. I'm unique.
As you are coming up to the manor, Carmen finally sees it before her, and even though it was a relatively warm, hot-ish, not too hot, hot-ish evening, the temperature starts to dip suddenly as you are at the manor. And Carmen looks up at him and says, Tori, we're not going there, are we?
We sure are.
But why are we going there?
I can't tell you. It's a secret.
But Tracy said that Mandy said that she heard from Tiffany, who also heard it from Lonnie, that this place is haunted.
Well, those are just rumors. They're just trying to get under your skin.
Okay. This is like some sort of a surprise party, right? It's not my. Is this like a surprise party? Oh, okay. I see what's happening. All right, I will pretend to be completely dumb about this whole thing.
So,
I will just.
Nothing will change.
How dare you?
I'm just kidding, sis.
Right. She's not actually angry at you, but she's like, oh, how dare you?
Just kidding. Yeah, well, just play dumb.
Just for that, she says, I'm just gonna go up ahead of you. And she's just gonna, make her way bravely up into the house of the mansion. And then she's gonna go up to the door and say, so do I just knock? There's no doorbell or anything on this thing.
Just open it. See what happens.
Okay, she goes over, and before she touches the handle, the door creaks open. Okay, that is some bad juju right there.
It's the lights are off. You just go inside.
Okay, all right. Oh, Tori, I have no idea what to expect. Oh my goodness, I hope I don't get surprised by anyone. Maybe with something with some cake, maybe with Billy Bobby? Yeah, we have a Billy Bob, right, in our class? Billy Bob sounds great. And she's opening the door, and she goes in, and again, the temperature continues to dip down, and it is dead silence in this house. Very dark, dust and cobwebs and everything. It doesn't look like anyone has been in this structure for ages, it seems. And then when Tori comes into the house, the door slams shut, and it makes Carmen jump. Okay, still not expecting any surprises. No, not expecting any surprises. She's just looking around. At this point, she's like huddling over to Tori.
Maybe I got the wrong date.
Tori, how could you get the wrong?
Okay.
Seriously,
I'm lying.
you know what?
I'm lying.
She's taking out her phone. I am getting us a Uber out of here right now. She's dialing. Oh, I got no reception. That stinks.
Maybe we should just kind of check it out, see if there's anything interesting. While we're
Tori, it's a dark house. And there's spider webs here, which means that there might be spiders here. And I hate spiders.
If we see a spider, I'll step on it. I got it.
Okay. But what if it's one of those poisonous spiders from like Australia or something?
Do you know where we are? we're in America. There's no poisonous spiders like that here.
Well, maybe they're distant relatives that are visiting. I don't know. You don't think spiders have a social life?
You need to actually pay attention in class.
It's called the World Wide Web for a reason. Duh.
Oh, Carmen.
Okay, fine. We'll go check out a few rooms here and there, and then we'll go outside again, and we can get our nails done tomorrow. That's the deal, right?
Deal.
Pinky swear?
Pinky swear.
Okay. Lead the way. I'll be right behind you.
You're not gonna try to ditch me?
Well, I mean, if I did, I'd probably get in trouble with Mom and Dad, so probably not in my best interest.
Yeah, that's a good decision. All right, so I will make my way through the manor.
You will make your way through the manor, and, everything here looks, it's not decrepit, it's not falling apart, but, it's definitely can give most people, like, the eerie, creepy vibe, and Carmen is just totally jumpy and not enjoying herself at all. And that is when you start hearing bells. You hear the bells jingling in the distance. And Carmen says, "What was that?"
I don't know, maybe it's Santa Claus.
It's the middle of July, Tori. No, it's not Santa Claus. I don't think Santa Claus would be taking a vacation here. This is not exactly North Pole Central.
Well, let's go see what it is. Maybe it's like a dinner bell. Maybe there's people here going to get dinner.
Tori, don't you watch every single scary movie like ever?
I do.
You don't just walk to... You don't walk to... This is exactly what people... I can hear people yelling at us right now. Don't go, don't go. They're telling us to run away right now. I can hear it.
Do you know how bad a horror movie this would be if we didn't go see the sound?
That's not the point. Better is not the point. It's not... Don't make me go, please.
You want me to go get my nails done with you or not?
I do. I really, really do. Okay. I can do this. Okay. So she keeps following you, and you keep going down. And you are going to pass by a hallway that has a whole bunch of portraits of all these people in old clothes, like not Victorian, excuse me, the wrong country, but like just older, like clothes from way back when. But the really creepy thing about these portraits is that when you look at the faces, all of the faces are missing their eyes. They just got these black spots where their eyes should be, and they have these black veins around the eye sockets. That's super creepy, Carmen says, pointing at it.
No, that's so cool. What happened to their eyes, you think? You think they were gouged out, or... I want to know how they got out.
I am not that curious. I don't know, and I don't want to know. Can we just move on, please? Can we move?
Fine.
Okay. You keep going, and you're going to pass through like a set of doors, and as you get through the doors first, there's another slam that suddenly separates you and Carmen from each other. What do you do?
And she like turns around to the door and tries to open it.
You go turn on and try to open the door, and it's locked. And if you try to listen or call out Carmen's name, you don't hear a response. You don't hear anything.
Well, she starts to get really nervous because she has a fear of being alone, and she kind of knocks on the door a little bit like, come on, Carmen, this isn't funny. You said you wouldn't leave me alone.
As you say that, you suddenly hear a jingle again. A jingle of bells from above this time.
Still super nervous. She's pulling out some of her dolls, of course, and she's going to go look up at the ceiling and try to investigate what the sound is.
You look up and you can see a shadowy figure, the silhouette of a shadowy figure, very small, like the size, like yay size small. And that seems to be where the jingling was coming from. And all you can see are these two red dots, almost like eyes looking in your direction. They are, so it's sort of like there's like a staircase, and like up on the banister is where you can see the doll. It looks like a doll, the silhouette of a doll.
Well, that puts her at ease a little bit, so she'll move closer, go up the staircase towards the doll.
You're going to go up the staircase towards the doll. The steps will creak with every single step you take. And because of the silence in the entire house, it just echoes as you creak. And once you reach the top of the stairs, the figure starts to scatter away as you hear the jingling of bells.
Wait, come back!
You're going to go chasing after it, and you're going to chase it into another dark hall. And as you are chasing it in this dark hall, you start to smell something in the air, a little strange. It's like the smell of sulfur and rotten eggs, almost. It smells almost like you're at a swamp of some sort.
How is that possible? So she'll...
Yeah. So you keep going, and again, it's very dark and shadowy in here, and the shapes around you are starting to shift, and you kind of feel a little lightheaded, like a little dizzy, so almost like you're in some sort of like hallucinogenic high, almost. And then you start hearing like buzzing in the air. You start hearing the sound of one buzzing insect, and then another buzzing insect, and then another, and you start hearing, not like this in the distance, a sounds like a swarm of insects, and it starts to get louder and louder and louder in your head.
Just gonna like grab at her head and say, shut up, shut up, shut up. Get out of my head.
When you say shut up, shut up, shut up, the buzzing all of a sudden stops. And in its place, you start hearing the rhythmic thumping of drums. Very tribal in nature, tribal rhythmic of drums. And when you finally move forward, you feel that there's a little bit of a drop in front of you, and you realize that you've reached another staircase. But this staircase is made of stone, a stone staircase. And you can hear that the sound of the rhythmic drums are coming from down the staircase.
So she'll try to follow the sound.
You'll start to follow the sound, and as there's torches that start to light in your path, like there are these sconces on either side, and the torches are very like macabre in nature. They seem to have like skulls embedded in them. Not of people. It looks like of maybe like small animals of some sort. Some animal creature, you're not really sure what. And right down at the bottom of the stairs, you can see those same red eyes poking out. And you can see a little bit more clearly that the red eyes belong to this being.
Okay.
And as you get closer to it, the the jester-looking doll like pulls away from view and starts scampering again. You can hear the jangle of bells.
Wait, doll, don't run away. I have dolls.
You make your way down, and as you're chasing after this doll, the rhythmic beat of the drums are louder and louder and louder, and the smell, the sulfurous, swampy smell, gets stronger. And finally, you make your way into a chamber, relatively, like, it looks like it's a living room of some sort. There's like what appears to be some sort of like a fireplace. There's a rug, a bearskin rug at the bottom, and everything around here looks like it's not dusty, but it looks like it's been lived in, but it's not like they like had the cleaners come in recently. So it's not, yeah, so it's, I guess it's somewhere between like not lived in but still semi lived in, but not like clean of dust. So, and there is this woman, it looks like this old woman with very like wrinkly bark-like features that greets you with her eyes as you enter into the chamber. The woman looks like that, if you can see.
Oh.
The woman hoarsely calls out as she sees you enter. Curious and curious. We have a visitor.
Hello? Who are you?
The visitor has manners. How lovely. You asked who I am. I'm afraid I am not the uninvited guest who arrived here unannounced, so perhaps I should be the one asking you that question. Who are you?
Tori.
Tori. What a lovely name. You can call me Madame Maldevere.
Okay, Grandma.
She doesn't flinch when you call her that.
What is all of this?
This is my home. Did it not look like a home when you entered?
It does, but I thought no one lived here.
Oh, well, it wouldn't be much of a home if nobody lived here. It would be a house, if that was the case.
But I heard it was haunted.
Haunted. Haunted. Now you and I know that that's a foolish idea.
I had a dream about this house.
Did you?
I
About
did.
my house? Oh, I suppose I should feel flattered. And that's why you are here, because of a dream.
Yeah, it said if I didn't come here in 10 days, that my sister would die.
Oh, I see. Perhaps it's because of the curse, then.
The curse is real, then.
Yes, the curse is real. But the good news is, I can tell from you that you have the gift. And that gift can help you stop the curse and save your sister.
Wait, where is my sister?
She says, "Where indeed is your sister? I do not necessarily know where exactly she is, but if you unlock the gift, you might be able to track her down and save her before the curse consumes her."
What gift? What do I have to do?
It's simple, really. You just need to give up your heart.
That's crazy. My heart?
Oh, but it's not so crazy at all. Do you doubt that there is something special within you? Didn't you ever feel that you were different from everybody else? Something about you made you unique, perhaps even superior to those around you. People who didn't understand you and your eccentricities, some would say.
Okay, got my interest a little bit. Yeah, I'm different. I'm my own person.
She eyes the dolls in your hand. Beautiful. You like dolls, dear?
I do, and they say thank you.
Oh, well, how polite they are as well. Not bad for a grandma. Well, which one would you say is your favorite one? Which one do you think best represents you?
Oh, Tori Jr. here, of course.
That makes sense. Tell you what. She pulls something out of her hair. It's a long pin. And then she very carefully holds it out towards you with the non-sharp end towards you. She's not a barbarian. And she holds it towards your direction. And she says, all you have to do to save your sister and break her curse is to take the pin and stick it into the heart of Tori Jr. She's holding it, her hand shaking.
But if I do that, then don't I die without a heart, lady?
No. That is not how this works. For normal people, yes, that is true. But because you have the gift, that is the key element. That is what will not allow you to die.
She takes the pen. I'm like, okay, this is to save my sister. And she goes and jabs it in.
You jab it into the heart. And as you jab it in, you can hear a scream coming from the doll, which sounds like your own voice coming from the doll. And as that is happening, the old woman starts to cackle and laugh. And the room starts to spin around you, spinning faster and faster and faster. And you can start hearing the voice of your sister, and she sounds really afraid, and she's saying, Tori, is that you?
Carmen!
Tori, where are you? I can't see you.
Carmen, can you hear me? I'm
Tori?
right here.
Tori?
Carmen!
Tori? And you're yelling out your name, and everything goes black. And then suddenly you open your eyes and you are awake in bed. And as before, from your interview, when you awake in bed, the room is the same as how you remember it, but none of Carmen's stuff is there. Not her bed, not her dresser, nothing. And any photos that you had that had Carmen in them do not have Carmen present in the photos, or entirely different photos altogether.
She looks around and she assumes it's a dream, so she gets out of bed and she's like, that bitch better not have gotten her own room. And she'll leave and try to go look around the house to see where she is or find one of her parents.
Yep. You'll go over and you'll find your parents, and they are at the table and they're having breakfast together. Your dad has a newspaper open and he's drinking coffee, and your mom, she's serving up some pancakes and bacon.
Mom, Dad?
Well, good morning, honey. How'd you sleep? You slept in a little bit, it seemed.
Yeah, I had a bad dream.
Oh, Honey, I'm sorry. Here, maybe, I'm sure that's nothing some pancakes and bacon can't solve.
Before I eat, I have to ask, where is Carmen, my sister?
Your mom looks at you very strangely, and your dad folds the newspaper down as he looks at you, and he sort of, Tori, is this one of your jokes again?
No.
Tori, go ahead and eat your breakfast.
No, I'm serious. Where is she?
Where is who, dear? Who is this Carmen that you're talking about?
My sister? Your daughter? Am I going crazy here? Where is she? Stop playing around.
Your father puts down the newspaper and says, "Now, Tori, that's enough. You've had your fun. Your mother and I were not in the mood for another one of your pranks, so your mother slaved through all morning to make these fine pancakes and bacon, so you would do well to eat and let this whole thing go."
I'm not gonna let it go.
I beg your pardon? Young lady, your mom says, "Don't speak to your father like that."
You guys are really gonna ignore that your daughter is missing?
Tori, are you sure that you're feeling all right? Tori, it's not drugs, is it? You're not taking drugs, are you?
No, I'm sober. Maybe you're the one taking drugs. Yeah, she'll storm off at this point.
Yeah, you'll storm off. and I guess as you're storming off, like, your mother will say, maybe we should give the doctor a call. I'm worried about her. I suppose you're right. She doesn't seem well. I don't know. And as you're storming off, Tori, you can hear in your ears, ringing in your ears. You have a feeling that nobody else can hear it. You can hear the buzzing and the beating of the drums. And you can start to smell that swampy smell wafting through your nostrils. And we'll end the scene there.
Wow.
So, session 0's over.
Wow.
There are your origin
That was
stories.
intense.
Yeah.
Tune in next time in session 1, where we will be diving headfirst into actually having these characters meet each other once and for all.
Oh my goodness.
So, tune in then.
So sad.
Yay.